One of the most famous and controversial figures in the history of the FBI was its first director, J. Edgar Hoover. He led the agency from 1924 to 1972 and left behind a legacy that remains ambiguous. Hoover was a master of political manipulation and actively used the FBI for his personal benefit. He created extensive archives on politicians, public figures, and celebrities to have leverage over them and influence public processes. Hoover also used his power to eliminate or compromise his enemies. J. Edgar Hoover was born in 1895 in Washington, D.C., and from the beginning of his career in government structures, he demonstrated exceptional dedication. After graduating from university, he started working at the Department of Justice, and in 1924, he became the director of the newly created Federal Bureau of Investigation, established to fight rising crime and corruption in the country. Hoover was not only an organizer, but also a technocrat who introduced modern investigative methods, such as the use of criminal laboratories, databases, and systematic information gathering. He managed to turn the FBI into a powerful organization with vast authority and influence. However, this success laid the foundation for his future problems related to the excessive concentration of power in his hands. One of the most striking aspects of Hoover's activities was the creation of secret archives on politicians, public figures, and celebrities. He collected compromising material on those who could threaten his power or reputation and used this information to manipulate their actions. Many of these archives, it is claimed, were so extensive and scandalous that they could ruin careers and lives. Hoover was a master of manipulation and often used his archives to eliminate those who disagreed with his methods. One of the most well-known cases is his struggle against Martin Luther King Jr., whom Hoover saw as a threat to order in the country. Hoover used the FBI to undermine the civil rights leader's authority, using compromising materials and even attempting to drive him to suicide. Another example is his relationship with President John F. Kennedy. Hoover and Kennedy did not get along, and despite their public interactions, there was a hidden animosity between them. Hoover often used the information he gathered on the president and his associates to exert pressure on them, and even tried to sabotage the reforms that Kennedy proposed. At one point, Hoover began to suspect that the president might attempt to weaken the FBI's influence, which only exacerbated their relationship. In addition to his political maneuvering, Hoover was also surrounded by numerous rumors and conspiracy theories related to his personal life. His closed-off and secretive nature led to many myths and assumptions about him. One of the most discussed aspects of Hoover's life was his personal behavior and relationships with people who were close to him throughout his career. There were widespread rumors about his homosexuality, especially in light of his close relationship with his colleague Clarence Cleveland Lee. Many believed that their friendship was more intimate than just a professional one. Hoover was unwilling to discuss his personal life and maintained strict secrecy on this issue, which only fueled rumors. However, there is no conclusive proof of these assumptions, and the question of his sexual orientation remains one of the most mysterious aspects of his biography. Another popular theory was that Hoover used his power and reputation to manipulate and control politicians and other high-profile figures. There were rumors that he could hold them under his sway by threatening to reveal compromising materials. With the start of the Cold War, Hoover continued to develop his anti-communist campaign, which became a significant part of his work at the FBI. However, for decades, there were speculations that his campaign had been exaggerated to justify the use of repression against people he considered a threat to the state. Throughout his career, Hoover actively used the FBI to surveil many American citizens suspected of communist sympathies and to suppress protest movements, such as the Civil Rights Movement. One of the most well-known examples of this was the persecution of civil rights leaders, including Martin Luther King Jr. Hoover saw him as a threat and tried to discredit him, undermining his influence on the public. At one point, Hoover even organized a campaign to undermine King's moral authority, spreading rumors about his personal life and trying to create the image of an unpatriotic leader. Some theories suggest that Hoover may have been involved in strange deaths and disappearances. For example, he was often accused of being connected to the death of actor Rock Hudson, whom, according to rumors, he was surveilling due to his alleged homosexuality. There are also theories that Hoover may have been involved in the disappearance of certain people who could have posed a threat to his power. A particular intrigue surrounds the death of John F. Kennedy. Some believe that Hoover may have had some connection to this tragedy. Although there is no direct evidence of this, the atmosphere of tension between him and the president led to many rumors of a possible conspiracy. Some theories claim that Hoover may have used his position to influence the investigation into the assassination or even hide some important evidence. Edgar Hoover retired in 1972 after his reputation and methods were subjected to criticism. However, his legacy remains alive, and the FBI continues to use many of the methods he introduced. His figure remains controversial and continues to intrigue historians, politicians, and conspiracy theory enthusiasts. His life was full of intrigues, manipulations, and secrets that may never be fully revealed.